Hello and welcome to our Thursdays Tappilini class. Today we have a beautiful class, but before we start, let me just confirm with More Yoga Wellness TV, who is powering this session today, that we are live on their website. Today we have a bio on the control panels, and we thank you, Abio, for this opportunity to be here today. Let's hi. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for this. So we are 1 minute to log in before we can log in with More Yoga Wellness TV. We are going live yet, yes, and we will um, just confirm with a view whenever the time is right. We're also live on Facebook, on Twitter, and on YouTube. So thank you so much for everyone who's joining us on those platforms. Please send me your questions, suggestions, or comments that you would like to for me to read, and I will make all the effort, all the effort to answer them by the end of today's program. And I think we are now live on today's program. We're going to be working with 3 misconceptions about chronic pain and how Tappilini can help us to break free from those misconceptions, those limitations. So before anything happens, thank you so much, More Yoga Wellness TV, for allowing me to be here today and for helping so many people to work with their emotions and mental health. I think more than any other time in history, right now we are so in need of any support, any help, any guidance that we can get to help us deal with life as it is, life, the situations, the struggle, whatever, chronic pain, of course. But thank you so much, More Yoga Wellness TV, for this opportunity. So today, as I mentioned before, we're going to be working with the 3 misconceptions around chronic pain. And why would I want to work with this? Um, First of all, because I suffer a lot in the past with chronic pain. And it was through changing my perspectives around my illness, my tags, my labels, that I managed to be able to not only transcend them, to grow uh, beyond the pain, but also to get stronger through those situations. I am definitely not a therapist. I am not a doctor, and this is not in any way medical advice. This is simply my perspective and my opinion about these circumstances and how did I manage to outgrow those limitations. So, what is the first misconception around chronic pain and probably around any pain? It's I don't need this pain. I don't need it. I don't want it. And the only thing that I want is for it to go away. And with chronic pain, especially, well, that situation sometimes makes us feel very frustrated because the more we want to kill the pain, the more it gets stronger, the more it persists, and the more we just simply feel disempowered by the situation. We just feel weakened by the pain. We feel disempowered. We feel like there is nothing we can do, and and there is a massive misconception in this because there is no an education. There hasn't been a proper education around pain. I mean, we think that illness, especially, is caused by germs, bacteria, viruses, and sometimes even unhealthy habits. But it's something that is beyond our control, that we don't need it, that we will be so much better without it. And this is where I believe that the first massive misconception about chronic pain exists, because I do believe that we need it. And why do we need pain? Why do we need chronic pain, especially, to makes us so confused about our reality, about our empowerment, about who we are, and everything. And I believe it's because we are definitely in a process of growing. We are in a process of evolving. We're in a process of awakening to a different understanding of who we are. And I hope that people listening to this message can relate to this feeling, because believe and I feel that is just now very, very common. Few years back, people with a new age mentality were very few, and we were treated as kind of these hippies from the 60s, and like, what are you smoking? But now it's very widely available. People all around the world are waking up to our own nature, our own ability to heal ourselves, to empower ourselves, to guide ourselves through difficulty and darkness and pain, and be able to grow stronger as we leave behind the pain and the limitation. So, why do we need this pain? I believe that is because there is very specific configuration. Your pain, your chronic pain, regardless if it's labeled the same as somebody else's chronic pain, let's say, um, let's talk about give me a chronic pain, lower back pain. Let's put it that simple. Let's not go very deep or dramatic. Let's talk about chronic lower back pain. And many people can have lower back pain. However, your lower back pain, your specific chronic pain, has very unique tones and modalities that will make it very specific to you. It would be specific in the area that it hurts. It would be specific in the moments that it hurts. It would be specific in the way that it makes you feel. It will be specific in so many aspects. And it's through understanding that uniqueness of your own very personal chronic pain that you will understand how to work with it, how to learn with it or learn from it, and eventually let it go. I feel that chronic pain, it's like having as like a salesman knocking on your door, and the salesman knows that he needs to sell the product to you because you actually asked for that product. You asked for that product, but you don't remember that you asked for the product. So the salesman is knocking on your door and it's not going away, and you're going on the other side of the door. Go away! Fuck! Leave me alone. And the more that we're trying to ignore or get rid of the pain, the more it knocks and the more persistent it becomes and the more annoying it turns. And so, what is the solution on this? Is to kind of open in the door and begin to realize that you asked for this pain. And this is something that for many people is hugely difficult to accept. And I would totally understand the resistance of accepting the fact or the possibility, not the fact, let's call it a possibility, that you chose that pain. And this could be difficult to understand in a chronic pain like lower back pain. Let's say, well, probably yes, I chose it because sat on my chair or I didn't do much exercise, and you could find reasons why you would have chosen subconsciously that pain. However, it comes to I mean, it becomes more difficult when it's like an accident, or we've been robbed or abused or raped. And these situations of highly levels of injustice and uncertainty and wrongness. And in those cases, accepting the fact that we could have asked for those pains in our lives is way too difficult. And I totally understand if this is a concept that might confront you and make you feel angry because I totally understand it. And if this is the case and you find it very very difficult, I would ask you to simply not accept it. I totally understand. Just be open to let me explain my point on this, and you be the judge of why do I think that choosing this pain could have been a misconception, or could be a misconception. I believe that we choose our pains. I believe that we choose absolutely every single circumstance, choice, situation, uh, everything that has happened in our lives, including our own parents, including the place where we were born, the people that we were born into, the culture, the time, the all the little aspects of you that makes you who you are today, including every single accident, every single abuse, every single injustice, every single uh, wrongness, whatever. And why do I believe that? Why did I came to choose to believe that? Because obviously, at the beginning of my life, I was not in that channel. I was like, you did that to me, you wronged me, it's your fault, and this shouldn't have happened. And if it hadn't happened, I would have been a very happy boy, and I would be very, very healthy, and I wouldn't have to deal with so much shit in my life. And I totally understand it. However, it came to a point in my life that the only way forward was down. I was going down, and pain was not healing itself. I was not getting rid of this pain, and I was just getting darker and darker and sicker and sicker. And I began to understand pretty intuitively, to be honest. It's not something that happened to me. But when I began to connect with my heart, and this was especially with the person who abused me the most, as I began to connect with my heart, I found the ability to forgive. And through that ability to forgive is that I began to realize that the pain that was caused to me had a lot of benefits that were hidden behind the many, many difficulties and pains that it came with, and it was through understanding the benefits, like becoming stronger through changing my perspective, being able to connect more with my heart, that I began to release the anger and began to embrace more compassion and began to move from a very kind of microscopic, focused attention into the pain that was caused to me into a bigger, wider picture of why did this happen, how did it came to be, and realize that the person who abused me had been abused, and it was just a chain reaction that somebody needed to stop. And I realized that it was up to me to finish that stuff, that abuse, that anger, that chain reaction of negativity and pain. And through that shift of understanding is that I came to embrace the pain. And it came to a point when I began to feel very grateful for it. I began to feel very grateful for all the abuse that I suffered when I was a kid. I began to feel very empowered by the different circumstances and extreme violent events that happen in my life, because through those events I developed very unique set of skills that allowed me to uh, face my reality in a very different way, in a very empowered way, in a very detached from the victim mentality way. And later in years, that would allow me to achieve the health that now I come to share with you. If I hadn't been abused at that level, I wouldn't have had the ability to heal myself, and therefore I wouldn't have felt and empowered to share that message, and to come to a point to say, you know something, we can actually free ourselves from the trauma. We can actually let go of the pain by embracing it. But for that, I needed to understand that I chose that pain, and that is something that might be very difficult. But through Tappilini, a bit later on, we're going to experience how we can let go of that attachment, that the attachment to feeling, to the injustice, to the wrongness, to the anger that we feel for whatever thing happened in our past. And the third misconception is, I can get rid of this pain. And this is probably coming, continuing from the previous concept. As we embrace it, as we learn from it, without wanting to pushing it away, because getting rid of the pain, it's an action, a passive action. We don't get rid of the pain. The pain leaves us. It's like when it came to you, whatever pain, you didn't feel that you went in search for it. You feel like it came to you, and in the same way, once I believe, once we are ready to embrace, ready to look at the other possibilities, which are not only suffering and pain, but we can gain a higher understanding and empowerment about ourselves, self-knowing, and through that process, being able to grow. And in that process of growth, we leave behind the skin that don't longer fit us. I believe that is how it works, because that's how I've been managing to get rid of my own pain, and this is how I made these conclusions. That's how I came to be here with you today in front of you, talking about chronic pain, not being a doctor and having suffered a lot of chronic pain, but very, very proudly and empoweredly uh, say that I got rid of my chronic pain. And I got rid of many chronic pains, from lower back pain all the way to immune deficiency, all the way to digestive problems like IBS, and I had a beginning of Crohn's disease, uh, respiratory chronic uh, situations. I mean, I had pneumonia 3 times. I had a constant blockage in my sinuses. I had an array of physical chronic pains as much as mental health pains. I suffer hugely with anxiety, with worry, with bipolar, with schizophrenia, and paranoia. I had many times, and during many years, I suffered with psychosis, and I mean, big stuff, big stuff that doctors would not only say that I had no way to heal myself, because they all believed that my circumstances were uh, for the rest of my life, but they also, it was about I mean, how could I manage to break free from that? So I know I know what I'm talking about. I know it's possible. I know that even though we could have been labeled deceased, we could have been labeled mental health limited, weak, uh, infected, in whichever kind of label that you would like I mean, to come up with, that you might have been given by your doctors or your circumstances. Traumatized, another one. There is a possibility for it to let us free, to let us move away from that situations and enjoy a health, a balance, and peace that is not only possible, but it's sustainable, that lasts, that it doesn't feel fragile, that it doesn't feel like, something. I feel fine, but if I don't cover, if I don't, if I'm not well covered, I might get sick and I might start feeling weaker. But in the opposite direction, that we can actually feel, that we can feel vulnerable and allow the vulnerability to make us stronger, like the ice or the cold effect. When people go into cold showers and ice buckets, and get stronger in their immune system through going at that level of extremes. Now, when we are sick and vulnerable, you think about a cold bucket and you run in the opposite direction. He said, no, no way. I mean, I want to keep warm. I want to keep safe. I want to stay protected. And cold makes me feel unprotected. And it's through the changing of perspective that we can allow ourselves to move on and to really feel healthy and free. So, how Tappilini can help us do and achieve all this? I believe, and not only I believe, but these are Tappilini uses three very powerful techniques that are scientifically proven. One is tapping, or EFT, the tapping technique that has been proven to detach and sever the cut, delete the connection with the fight, flight, and freeze response of the nervous system. So, if you had a situation in your past, let's say that somebody abused you, and you had a uh, very intense connection to your past, and every time that you think about what happened to you, you get very emotional and you revive the event and you feel so wronged and you feel the injustice and you feel how bad it was, and you relieve the situation all over again with this simple technique. And this is not about minimizing the power of your trauma and your pain. I'm just saying that there is very simple techniques that can help us if we choose to. We can empower ourselves and begin the process of self-healing. This in no way, shape, or form is meant to say, something, just by tapping you might get rid of 20 years of trauma and abuse. But it might help you begin the process of telling yourself, I am ready. I am ready to heal. I am ready to heal myself. I am ready to begin this process. I am ready and I am open. I am open to new possibilities. I am open to let go. I am open to not know what's going to happen. I am open to adventure into new worlds and possibilities. This is what this tapping technique does. And just to give you a little point of perspective, this tapping technique is used by veterans of war, especially American veterans of war who have been in war for the last, I don't know, 50 years. And I don't mean all of them, but uh, imagine someone who has been at that level of inhumanity when you have to kill or be killed, when you see the worst of things happening. And I think now we can relate more than any other time because we can see the Ukraine situation just going out of hand, and just seeing how much pain and suffering it's caused unnecessarily in many ways. But if we understand that we have the opportunity to learn from the pain, maybe this war is giving us the opportunity to learn more about ourselves and to begin to understand what is really going on in the foundations of our civilization. And we can begin to understand that we as individuals, we have a lot more power than we believe, or we have led to believe that we actually have. So if we understand that veterans of war treat their PTSD, uh, post traumatic stress disorder, through this simple technique, somebody who has had an abusive relationship, somebody who had an abusive past or had an accident or had something really horrible happening to them, they might have a little hope using this technique. The second technique, which is also scientifically proven, is meditation. We use with Tappilini, we use a mantra, and it's the mantra Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru, and this is a Kundalini mantra. And Kundalini mantras are connected, or are created, or were created to work with consciousness. Kundalini is the yoga of consciousness. And as we use this mantra, Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru, what we are doing is we are reprogramming the way we think about ourselves and about everything else. In this case, about chronic pain, about what happened to us in the past, about how can we use that what has been killing us for so many years, how we can use it to make us stronger and better. And that understanding sometimes it's out of logic. We cannot think logically that being raped when we were 5 years old could actually have anything of benefit for our lives. I mean, it's illogical. It could be just very, very impossible to even consider it. So, how can we actually get to that point? It's through detaching from our ego mentality, from our mind mentality, from our conscious mentality, and go into our super conscious mentality. Begin to see ourselves outside ourselves. And that is something that Kundalini mantras and Kundalini meditation and Kundalini practice yoga can achieve. And this is why we practice this, the yoga. And and the third technique that we use in Tappilini is the breathing technique. We use breath work. Why? Because we have to repeat Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 5 times in one breath. And we'll repeat that cycle 108 times, which will take us about 25 minutes of constant repetition of this mantra, Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru, 5 times in one breath, as we tap in different points to help us detach from the fight, flight, or fear response of the nervous system that is connecting us to the way we feel about our chronic pain, and the way we have identified ourselves. Like these are my labels. I am a chronic pain survivor. Just simple as that. Chronic pain gives me my identity. It's through my chronic pain that I live my life the way I live it. And all those attachments that are very engraved in our psyche. Through this technique, as we repeat Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru. And we continue. You see, I activated the deep breathing. I continue with the tapping. I instantly enter in a state of meditative awareness, and I began to let go of any attachment to what I believe is, which means that I began to detach to what I think is real, and I began to open myself to different possibilities of what could also be real. This is the beginning of quantum consciousness, the activation of quantum consciousness, or the Christ consciousness. And this develops into a massive shifts of awareness. But for today, if you are especially suffering from any chronic pain that you would like to begin the process of letting go and not just mask it with medication and addictions or entertainments or whatever, if you think that you are ready to let go of whatever has pained you for the last years, and you would like to give it a try to a new understanding, a new possibility, a new practice, I'll invite you to practice with me, Tappilini, for the next 25 minutes. I invite you also to write to me and send me all your questions, all your comments and suggestions for future programs that you would like, if you would like me to discuss and you would like me to explore here with you. And you can visit my website, www.tappilini.com, and you can use the contact form there, or you can contact me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram. And ready? So let's begin. So what are we going to do now? We're going to tune in. Now, why do we tune in? We tune in to prepare ourselves and prepare our space. This mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo, is another Kundalini mantra. This Namo with me, or you can simply say Om and vibrate your voice box. Om, or you can simply say, or you can hum. It's all about the vibration. So we can start. I'll ask you to please start by rubbing your palms together. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. One more time. Inhale through your nose. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Bring your shoulders back. Elongate your neck. Tuck in your chin slightly. Breathe out. Inhale again. Breathe out slowly. And one more time to start. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Inhale deep. Exhale. Somebody came to say hello. 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 Okay, so now with the mantra Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru, we're going to start tapping points. Karate point 3 times. Top of the head, beginning of the eyebrows, side of the eye, cheekbone, under the nose, chin, collarbone, heart, under the arm, and we continue with the other hand on the top of the head. Don't worry, I will give you cues of each point for the first 2 or 3 rounds, and then just go with the flow. Whatever feels right, it's right. So let's start with the karate point. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. The other hand. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. One more time. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Top of the head. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Eyebrows. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Side of the eye. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Cheekbone. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Under the nose. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Chin. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Collarbone. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Heart. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Under your arm. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru 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 Vahe Guru Guru Ram Das Guru. Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 eyebrows Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 side of the eye Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 cheekbone Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 under the nose Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 side of the eye Guru Guru Vahe Guru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vaheguru 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 Guru Ramdas Guru Guru Vaheguru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Guru Vaheguru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Guru Vaheguru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Guru Vaheguru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Guru Vaheguru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Guru Vaheguru Guru Ramdas Guru 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 Vaheguru Guru Ramdas Guru. Hold the breath in. Slowly breathe out. Breathe normally. Keep your eyes closed. And notice the silence. The silence in the mind. The sense of peace and belonging that exists. The vibration in your feet, your hands, on your skin. Slowly begin to move around. Open your eyes slowly whenever your time. And we are back. How was it for you? I really hope that you enjoyed this. It's a beautiful technique. I mean, every time that I've finished, I feel ready. I feel ready for whatever is coming. I feel ready. I don't feel afraid. I don't feel disempowered. I feel the opposite. I feel empowered. I feel ready to shift, to transcend, to move on, to let go, ready to whatever is needed, to be there, to be present, to show up and do the best I can. I invite you to send me comments, suggestions, and questions on my website. And I also just double check here with More Yoga Wellness TV how we are doing there. How's everyone there? Hello, hello. We are watching. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. More Yoga Wellness TV. Thank you everyone who is watching at this point, and who will be watching later on the recording. Thank you so much. From Eddie and I. Look at nice baby. Oh, this say hello to everyone. From Eddie and I. Thank you so much. God bless you. Satnam. Namaste. Hasta la próxima. Ciao. Next time, 7 o'clock. This same channel, the Tappilini. I don't know what are we going to be talking about, but I invite you to tune in every Thursday, 7 o'clock London time. Take care. Thank you.